Hey there, I hope you've been doing well. It's Keegan. I want to talk to you guys for like 30 seconds here at the very beginning to explain a couple of things. Number one, I'm going to jump right into the reading. I'll show you guys what I'm going to be focusing on, what I'm going to be asking, what the cards mean. But beginning with these readings, moving forward for the rest of 2021, I'm going to be offering extended readings beyond what I post for the general readings. And in the middle of this video, at some point, I'll insert a little explanation about what that means. There'll be no mid-roll ads. During this video, you'll just hang out with me for a little bit as I explain that. So let's go ahead and take a look just to get started on what I'm going to cover for the general reading here. I'm going to be taking a look at 8 different things here in a spread based on different aspects of the connection that you might have with this person. If you're not in a relationship with someone, you can still watch this if you'd like. You can view this as the person who's approaching you next. But this is a love reading, taking a look at an actual relationship here. So these are the things I'm going to be taking a look at. You can see them here on the screen. If you're not looking at the screen, you might want to take a look really quickly and just pause it. But what I'll do is I have 2 decks, and I'm going to basically go through and I'll pull a couple of cards from each of those decks and see what wants to come out. And then, as I mentioned, there will be an extended reading based on what happens in the general reading, and I'll jump in the middle of the video to talk to you guys more about what will be covered in that extended reading. Okay, let's do a little bit of shuffling here on camera for the people who like to see the cards getting mixed up. I did pre-shuffle these decks before hitting record, but I do like to just shuffle a little bit more on camera for you guys. This deck as well. I'm just going to pull cards straight off the top of the decks. When I feel like this deck is ready for you, we'll get started with the actual reading itself. Here we go. So Saggies, we're going to be taking a look at 2 things right off the start. That's what you bring to the relationship and what the other person brings to the relationship. Now, in designing this spread for you, I deliberately, with these first 2 things, there's an implication here. My intent when designing the spread that I'm doing is that this is going to give me insight into what you bring to the table. Okay, so let's see what you bring to the table. What does the other person bring into this relationship? What are you offering to each other, basically? Okay, so Saggies, for you guys, we have the Page of Swords coming out with the 8 of Swords reversed. Now, I want to talk immediately about this 8 of Swords reversed. I love this in terms of what you're bringing into this relationship, because the energy of this card is really about realizing that the things that are holding you back, the things that have been getting in your way, the negative things that you think about yourself, letting all that stuff fall away is actually very freeing, extremely freeing, right? And sometimes we don't realize that how we are communicating internally to ourselves, the things that we are thinking about ourselves, the things that we are thinking we're deserving of or we're not deserving of, the things that we believe we can and can't do, those things really can mess with us. And on top of that, whatever's going on in our own mind, when we are confronted with something that is an actual obstacle, is some sort of limitation, is something that's getting in our way, if we've convinced ourselves along the way that we can't deal with those things, we can't overcome them, we can't figure out a way of making them better, then when we're confronted with actual bad news, we don't believe we can do anything about it. We just start to accept it. And that type of behavior really keeps us on a low vibration in terms of our energy. Now, Saggies, you guys don't necessarily buy into this on a default level. As a sign, you guys think you can do pretty much whatever you want, whenever you want, if your energy's in the right place. If you want to go and have an adventure, then you will figure out what you need to do in order to be on that adventure and having that experience. And you're bringing that energy into this connection because you realize that even when you're confronted with things that you might not necessarily want to hear, things that are a bit disappointing, things that are a bit overwhelming, you have full control over how you deal with it. So for example, what I'm getting energetically here for you Sagittarius, and I think that sometimes each sign has its thing. As a Scorpio, I've always been told I'm too intense. And it took a long time until I was much further along in my journey for me to realize that the intensity that I have, my connections to my emotions and my feelings, and the intensity at which I feel those things is what allows me to do this, to tap into the energy of other people. Because I feel energy, emotion, feelings so intensely, I can sense emotions and feelings that aren't my own. So I've had to learn how to turn what I'm typically judged for as a Scorpio into realizing that's the strength of my sign. So for Sagittarius, you guys very often will get judged that you're too blunt, or you're not serious enough, that you're too focused on your needs, what it is that you want, versus other people. Okay? Now, that's the judgment aspect of it. What I actually see when I tune into the sign of Sagittarius is that you just choose to react to situations differently than what people think is right. I'm using the air quotes there. So, for example, something happens, you lose your job, or a friend passes away, or a relationship comes to a screeching halt. And some people might choose in that situation to crawl in bed and be very sad and depressed and eat comfort food for a week or two and just be very depressed. Sagittarius, when you are in the right energetic space, you, like, I'm getting an example here, so this might be very specific for someone listening, but like a friend passes away and you're like, you know what, we went on that road trip and we took that trip up to that place and we did that hike and there was that river and we took that photo, I'm going. And you're just in your car immediately and you're on the road going to that place where you can feel connected to your friend, where you can feel like you're honoring their life. You're literally reliving a memory that was fun for you. And that's how you choose to deal with that negative, right, air quotes again, negative thing that happened, that loss of a friend. That's also what you bring into this relationship. And it's a good thing. You should honor that. And I think that the person who you're involved with here really appreciates that about you. They don't have the judgment that you might have gotten from people before in terms of asking whether it's really like an appropriate way for you to behave based on what's going on. They like this about you. So let's take a look at this other person. What is it that they bring into this? They have the 8 of Coins reversed with the King of Pentacles. So first thing I want to talk about is this King of Pentacles, because immediately this person, I heard like feels like home. And I know that's kind of corny, but it's deeper than just like a corny expression of, oh, they're like home to me. It's not like that. So Sagittarius, I feel like this is a situation where this person doesn't actually know what it is that they want. They're not necessarily very focused or putting a ton of energy into manifesting anything specific. And it could be because they just haven't, they haven't had the experience of having to do that. I'm tuning in, so give me just a second, guys. I'm actually trying to figure out what this is that I'm getting. So there could be an age difference between you and this person. This other person, to me, they feel inexperienced. I'm not going to say immature because they're not an immature person, but they're inexperienced. So this could be a situation where this person hasn't had a lot of relationships. They haven't been in a lot of serious relationships. They haven't really dated or done that. Or they could be young, and because of their age, they haven't had the chance to, interact or be with many people in terms of relationships. It could also be a situation in which someone has only been in one relationship. So let's say maybe they got married at 20. They were with that person for a long time. And then that relationship ended for whatever reason. And so they've not really had a lot of relationships, even if they're not young. Okay, so I just want to paint the picture for you of what I'm picking up energetically so no one writes it off as not being about them. This person doesn't necessarily have a lot of focus or experience in terms of making a relationship feel solid, but they do that naturally. Okay, that was a little bit all over the place to get to that point, but that's the energy that I'm picking up, and so I wanted to explain it. This person just creates energy around them that feels very grounded, that feels very stable, that feels very protective. And it's not about necessarily creating the like biggest home or the, when you're around this person, you just feel important, you feel protected, you feel valued, you feel important. And this is just something that they do. It's what they bring into this connection, right? And it's comforting to you because at the same time, energetically, what I'm picking up here is that there is a good balance between you and this person, because they are creating a sense of stability and a sense of home that is appealing to you, Sagittarius, that you actually do find, like you find yourself wanting to be in that energy. But at the same time, they love the fact that you're this wild, free-spirited person who doesn't allow themselves to get down when they're confronted with some sort of bad news or obstacle in the path. And because of that play on energies, I can assume here that this person is also supportive of the things that you need. Like when you want to be home and you want to be with them and you want to have that grounded stability, they're there for you. But when you want to be out on your own and focusing on your own things and going out on adventures, they're either there with you or they're fine with you going off and doing it. Because again, with this person, they by default just want to make this relationship seem fair, to seem equitable. Now, I'm going to say something here, okay? Because my guides are wanting me to say this to people. This is not me. I'm reading for a specific group of people. And every time I post readings, I get someone, sometimes lots of people, who they get into the comments and they say things like, they didn't try, they didn't care, they didn't work, they wouldn't, I felt totally, this reading is not for you. If your other person is not someone who cares and makes you feel stable, I'm not reading for you. Some of you have been in toxic relationships for so long that you can't even believe that relationships where someone makes you feel safe, makes you feel secure, is very dependable and feels like a safe home. You don't even believe that that's possible. I'm reading for people who know who this person is. And if you're not currently in this relationship with this type of person, I'm not going to allow you to discount the energy of the people who've manifested this person into their life. So either this reading isn't for you right now, or open your mind, open your heart, expand your energy to believe that this might be me talking about the next person who comes into your life. But what we're not going to do is act like this person isn't possible. Okay? I sensed you. I sensed those of you who were like, how dare he make this person sound like they were so great and wonderful when they mistreated me. I'm not talking about that person. Okay? So with that, I think some people just scattered, but I sense those people very strongly in their energies. And I'm tired of it. If I'm not a sugarcoater, I'm gonna go off for a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and pull cards for these next two spots. But give me a moment because I need to address this. And this isn't for everyone, but I feel like the people that this is not for will just appreciate me saying it. Okay? I'm not a reader who sugarcoats things. If I think someone is a jerk, if I think someone's not good for you, I say that. You can go and watch other readings if you're new here. Okay? But if I think this person isn't good, I say this person isn't good. When I do that here on YouTube, there are people who are like, but you don't understand, and I need to give them a second chance, and I need to fight for this, and it's my twin flame, and this is something that's meant to be, and okay? So if I say this person isn't good, I get comments from people angry about it. If I say the person is good, I get comments from people saying they're mad about it. And guess what? Those people are the same people. And if you're one of those people, I'm talking directly to you, think about that. If I say the person's bad, you say they're good. If I say the person's good, you say they're bad. You have to sort through that thinking. Some of you ended up here. This reading is not actively for you, but your energy is here, so I'm addressing you. For those of you who this is your person, congratulations. We're going to get back to your reading now. But when those people pop in energetically, I'm just, my new thing for 2021 is to just really address them directly here. So it didn't apply to you. Thank you for letting me have a moment. Okay. I know you get it. And I'm not even angry at these people because I've been there myself, but I feel like we have to get them to wake up to what's happened to them. They don't understand that they defend the person when you say they're bad, and when you say the person's good, then they're honest and say, no, this person really sucks. They're not aware of it. And it's interesting to me as a reader. Okay? So what is it, Saggies, that you receive or gain from this wonderful relationship with this good person? I feel like people have left who are here to just say, how dare you say they're good? They're good. This is a good person. Congratulations if that's you. What are you getting from this? Okay, Saggies. Six of Swords reversed with the Hierophant upright. What's the Six of Swords? Well, the Six of Swords represents energy where you might find yourself not quite able to move forward. You're dealing with a lot of fears and worries. Right? Now that sounds like a bad thing to gain from a relationship, but we have the Hierophant here. The Hierophant really represents trust and wisdom. It can represent marriage. But it also speaks to a very conventional, traditional sort of life. And it's very interesting because that's not something Sagittarians are typically drawn to. What did I say about this person? The way that they create that sense of home and stability, that thing that is more traditional, you find yourself not really being able to move on from it. Even though it freaks you out, even though it gives you a lot of worry and concern, because it's not necessarily what you are used to being pulled in by, you gain this ability to embrace something that is a little bit more traditional. Now, it doesn't mean you're stuck in it. And I want to emphasize that again, because I think that's the most confusing energy coming through from you guys, is this is not what I'm typically drawn to. This is not what I was actually seeking out. But there's something about this person and the way that they create this sense of home and belonging that I'm completely pulled into, and I'm not able to move away from it. Even though it freaks me out, there's a balance here. And as I said that, I just saw the Temperance card. That's something I think maybe sometimes, Saggies, you guys forget this about yourself. But Temperance is your card. And it's actually the best way to live your life. It's a balance of being able, being allowed, being supported, and going out and doing whatever you want to do, have your adventures, being wild, being free-spirited. And then having a place to return to when you need to be grounded, when you need to feel like you have home. That's also important to you guys. The place where it becomes an issue for you in terms of home and commitment and relationships and another person is when that person tries to hold you back. This person's not like that. Right? So you gain this, you receive home, stability, and being able to work through the fears and anxiety that come with that, but not being able to just walk away from it. What does this person gain from you? Let's take a look. Nine of Cups reversed with the Seven of Cups reversed in terms of what this person is gaining from this relationship. Now, let's talk about the Seven of Cups reversed first. What does that card mean? Seven of Cups represents a place where we become aware of something that maybe we weren't aware of. So some sort of illusion or deception comes to a close. And even though we are disappointed about that, it's a good thing that is revealed to us, that we are shown another way of thinking. Now, Nine of Cups reversed. What is this about? Well, if you think about the Nine of Cups when it's upright, that's wish fulfillment, dreams coming true. If this card's reversed, it's really about being in a place where we're just not able to connect to or realize or embrace or accept what it is that we truly want. So these two cards together in terms of what is this person gaining? Well, Saggies, you're coming in and you're blowing apart their belief that they don't know what it is that they want or that they can't manifest it. Going right back to the beginning, what you bring into the relationship. This reading is really showing a beautiful connection. So for those of you who are in this, I like this for you a lot. Because Saggies, while you're getting this grounded home experience that you can return to, you're actually showing this person as well that they can actually go after the things that they want. And they can do that in a way that is nothing to be ashamed of, nothing that they need to apologize for. I think for this other person, one thing that I'll say to you, Saggies, is just some additional insight into this other person. Part of their humility, and I think that word's going to strike a lot of you as, yes, they are so, like, humility is such a good word to describe this person. But a lot of their humility comes from being told that they needed to accept what they couldn't do, what they couldn't accomplish. And then you come in energetically for this person and you're like, no, if you want something, go after it. If you want to go, if you want to turn your life completely upside down, move across the country, start a new life, find new friends, right? Like, do it. Let's do it. And it's just opening up this thing inside of them that is giving them hope. And it's not that they are necessarily a hopeless person, but they've just never allowed themselves to really be like a big dreamer. They've kept things very, like, this is coming through for them, right? Hierophant. You receive their Hierophant energy, and it gives you something that you also need to have that balance. You, Saggies, are not the Hierophant upright. You're much more the Hierophant reversed. You rebel against things, you think differently, you go against what is considered to be normal, you really follow your own intuition and your faith about things. So for them, having that come in is a huge deal for them. To see someone who's saying to them, well, what's your biggest dream for the year? And for them, their default is to say something like, oh, maybe I don't know why I'm getting this, but like for them, it's like, you're like, what's your dream for the year? And this person might say, oh, I'd really like to get new tires on my car and, I don't know, maybe like get a new bed. And for Sagittarius, you're like, no, I mean, like, what's your dream for the year? And you guys want to hear things that are like, I really want to go and, spend 2 weeks in the jungle, as an extreme example. But this person has never allowed themselves to think that big. They've never allowed themselves to ponder beyond what they need, right? So their needs are how they respond when you ask them what they want. And it's interesting sensing that shift that's going on inside of them, opening up to that, because they like it. They like that someone is there asking them, no, what is it that you really want? Because I want to help you with that. I want to pull the energy towards that, or I want to, make sure that you get that in the next year. They're not used to that. Hey guys, it's me. As promised, I'm jumping in here in the middle to talk to you guys for a little bit. This would be considered your mid-roll ad break, but please don't click away from me because I want to explain something to you guys. Even if you're not interested in the extended readings, you might be down the road when I post a general reading. So I just want you to know, if you're still here hanging out, I want you to know what's going on. So first of all, I just want to talk to you about the easiest way to get access to those. I'm going to have links that are in the description box below directly to the extended reading, as well as a link that will take you directly to the sign up page to become a member here on the channel. The extended readings are going to be members only. And the reason for that is because I wanted to shrink the number of people that I was tuning into for those extended readings. It allows me to go a little bit more in depth and get a little bit more specific, because instead of reading for thousands of people, I'm probably going to be reading for dozens or 100, right? So that's the purpose behind doing the extended readings. I also want to bridge the gap between the people who want a little bit more information than what I can do in the general readings, but maybe can't afford a personal reading with me, or they aren't comfortable doing a personal reading with me, and they want to get a little bit more of an explanation from the cards. So that's why I'm doing that. Now, I also want to let you guys know what I'm going to look at in that extended reading, so you can make up your mind about whether it's something that's interesting to you in terms of this reading, or if you want to wait and maybe join up the next time. What you can see here is I'm going to take a look at a few more things in terms of this relationship, this connection. We'll focus in on those. I'm going to use 2 decks again. I'll pull 2 cards, one from each deck, look at the energy of those things, and that's what we'll be taking a look at in the extended reading. Now, if you're not looking at the screen, you might want to take a look, because I have it listed here on the screen for you. But I just wanted to jump in and let you guys know exactly what was going on, and we're going to go right back into the general reading now. So these cards that I pulled here, Saggies, we're going to take a look at your fears, your secrets, or your fears regarding this relationship. 2 of Cups reversed here with the Hermit card, which is also reversed. And this, I think, is old energy for you, Sagittarius, but it is something that I think is still potentially popping up for you. And this, again, this stems from something in the past in terms of a breakup, a former relationship that left you in a place where you really didn't know how to pick up the pieces from that. It left you in a place where you were really lonely, where you were on your own, you isolated quite a bit in order to try to put things back together. Again, old energy. Now, if you're still listening to me and I went off on you earlier, this might be an indication of your future, where what you're in comes to a close and you really have to spend some time dealing with that. But for most of you, you know who this person is, you know what this relationship is, you know what I'm talking about. It's not really aggressive energy as I'm tuning into the energy, but it's a fear. There is a fear, and there's a little bit of trust issues that are being triggered here for you. And I think, again, like, you just, it's one of those situations where you kind of have to, like, acknowledge it and then just move on. It's really more about, Sagittarius, for you, I think you're scared of repeating up, making the same mistake again. So, Saggies, I think for a long time in your life, you've realized that one of the things that pulls you in, that attracts you to someone, is when that person offers you a space of stability, or they offer you a feeling of having home. And it's something that you really enjoy. Like, when you're able to just sit with someone and, like, you're doing your thing and they're doing their thing, and then you realize you've just been in the same space with them, it stirs something inside of you where you say, wow, this is what home is. And you love it. But in the past, when you've allowed yourself to embrace that with someone, when it came time for them to support you, and you saying, hey, you know what, I want to take a trip on my own, just by myself, and I want to go and do this thing, and then I'm going to go do that. And the person's like, well, wait, why do you want to go without me? Why do you want to take this trip on your own? We should do something together. That's the breaking point. Because sometimes you just want to go on your own and do something. And it's not because you don't want that person to be with you. It's because you just want to spend time with yourself. But the people in the past haven't been able to understand that. And that's why this has happened. Right? This person's not like that. If you say to this person, hey, you know what I'm thinking? I want to go do this thing for the next couple of weeks. They'll say, okay, awesome. Do you want me to go with you, or do you want to do it on your own? And if you say, no, I think this is just a solo trip, they're like, awesome, great. I am going to do my thing. I'm fine being on my own at home. I'm not going to be lonely. I don't feel like you're shutting me out. I don't feel like you're abandoning me. And that's new, right? So understand the fears are valid. Don't judge it too much. Acknowledge it. Move on from it. But you're not repeating the same mistakes, because this person is different. This person will support you being on your own when you need to be. So common goals, shared goals, common ground, shared goals. That's what it was for this relationship. Did I not say? I sensed it. There's Temperance. Temperance upright with the Page of Coins reversed here. Now, interesting energy, shared goals, shared visions, right? Primarily, the two of you have a shared goal of making this relationship feel fair and balanced. You both want to be able to do what it is that you want to do. You want the other person to be able to do what they want to do. It's very much a relationship of compromise, meeting in the middle. Okay? Now, one thing I will mention here with this Page of Coins, which is reversed here, be mindful in this relationship that you don't fall into people-pleasing. This Page of Coins, for me, what it's feeling like is being in a place where you're not willing to strive to push each other, right? If the default is finding peace, having balance, meeting in the middle, compromising, it can't be that all the time. Because if both people are constantly compromising, then they're not really expressing fully what they really truly want. And both of you, by default, the common ground is about, well, I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to cause any problems. I don't want to make this person feel any specific way. So I'm going to just try to find a compromise, try to find a middle ground. I'll sacrifice a little bit about what I really want in order to make this person feel happy. That's the default, which is good. But occasionally, you have to, that doesn't work all the time, right? If you really want to move across the country to attend a specific school to change your career path, then if that's what you truly want, and you feel like that is the way forward into the life that I want to create, then you have to sometimes say, hey, I need to go do this thing, and I can either go on my own and we can live in different cities, or you can come and move there too and we can be together. But I need to chase this dream. I need to go after this dream. And in those situations where you know that you're really being called to something very specific, a specific location of like a specific school, then you have to say, this is what I need, right? Sometimes even if the person's like, well, I didn't really want to move and leave and pack up and leave friends, but I don't want to necessarily be in a long distance relationship. So if this is really important to you, then I guess I'm going to move. Right? Like maybe that person's not getting exactly what they want. The other person is, but sometimes that's necessary. So be mindful that you don't create a situation where you're constantly compromising, because compromise has its place, but it's not something that we should be doing all the time, every time with every decision that needs to be made in our relationships. Sometimes the need of one of the people in the relationship actually does outweigh the other person's wishes. It's rare, but sometimes it happens. And we have to be able to really know when we need to ask for exactly what it is that we want. Now, we have two last areas here in terms of taking a look at the reading. And this is going to be your perception of them and their perception of you. So here's your perception of them and their perception of you. Move these decks out of my way since we have all the cards out that want to come out from this. And this is going to wrap up the general reading that will be available for everyone on YouTube. I will probably, by this point, we're about half an hour into this reading, so I probably will have already done an insert interrupting the reading so you guys can see what I'm going to cover in the extended reading. But I'm going to keep going on this connection and take a look at some other things. We'll look at what initially pulled you guys together, the expectations that you have, the issues or obstacles in the way of this, and the most likely outcome of this relationship. And if you want to join me for that extended reading, in the description box of this video, I will put a link to the extended, and as well as a link of how you can become a channel member so you can have access to that. So if you want to see more, that's how to keep watching. But if you're just going to watch this general reading and that's good enough for you, then this is going to be the last area that we'll take a look at in this specific reading. So what's your perception of this person, Saggy? Knight of Cups with the Page of Wands. Both of these cards coming out upright. And this Knight of Cups, I love this because this is just, it's confirmation for me. This person makes you feel ooey gooey, Saggies. They don't make you feel like you're trapped. They don't make you feel like you're being controlled, but you see them and your heart melts. You love being around them when you choose to be around them. You're very much so intrigued by them. You are, you're captivated by them and their energy. It's very interesting. You sense something inside of them. I heard untapped potential. That's not the exact energy that I was picking up on, but it works. Saggies, you see that this person has an adventurous spirit. You see that this person has something inside of them that if they would just embrace it, they would be like a kid in a candy store if they would allow themselves to tap into this energy. And it's something that you naturally, this Page of Wands feels very Sagittarian to me. You sense something inside of them that is adventurous. You sense something inside of them that they aren't aware of themselves. And it's one of the things that really is holding your attention because you like them, you like being around them, they're very charming, you're captivated by them, and you realize that being in a relationship with you, being in your energy, will unlock something inside of them that they don't even really know is there. Okay? What's their perception of you? Ooh. The Magician upright with the Devil reversed. That's some Sagittarian vibes right there. So I got the Magician. Okay? It's manifesting, guys. It's knowing what you want, using your energy, using your vibration, tuning into what it is you want to manifest, going after it with full 100% belief that you're going to make it happen. Really listening to your intuition, being tapped into your intuition. I said this at the beginning, right? But their perception of you is they're so interested in how you deal with things. Devil reversed, freedom, fun. Looking at the dark side of yourself, looking at the emotions that you might not want to deal with, dealing with them, but in a way that is very empowering. They're drawn into the fact, Saggies, that you've gone through a lot of heavy stuff, and ultimately you've come out of the other side of it saying, you know what? What really matters is what I want, not what I don't want. What really matters is what I'm moving towards, not where I've been. What really matters is that I am thinking about the life I want and I'm manifesting it. I'm not dwelling on the pain of the past. I'm not focused on that anymore. I've moved on. They perceive you as being someone who's had the ability to move forward from something that was very heavy, something that weighed you down, and to put yourself into a situation in which you are thriving and happy and creating the type of life that you want. And it's interesting, Saggies, because I think you understand that about yourself. You understand that you're in a place where you've really started to focus on what you want instead of being fixated on the things you don't want. And that shift has really changed the way that you're experiencing this world. Now, what I'm going to say to you, especially for those who are leaving here, and you're not going to join me for the extended reading, this person is a result of what it is you have been trying to heal and manifest. This person coming into your life, Saggies, is because you have finally tuned into, you know what? I want the person that I want. I know what they're like. I know what they're like, and I'm going to manifest bringing that person in. And you have. So congratulations on that. I'm happy for you guys. For those of you who know who this person is, you've met this person, or you sense your own energy is pulling this person in towards you, congratulations. It is at the end of a lot of personal growth and healing and understanding of yourself that this is where you've landed, that this is the reading that resonates with you. So congratulations, enjoy it. I'm super excited to keep taking a look at this connection for those of you who are going to join me there. And if you're saying goodbye, I'll be back in a couple of weeks with additional insight based on the energy mid-January 2021. And I will see you guys soon. I'll put up another couple Sagittarian videos just in case you want to hang out and watch some of those, see if any other messages come through for you. Okay? So thank you.